Hi, when I was a kid, maybe in grade 5, if my serves me right, I had the opportunity to engage in a family-based charity campaign, offering the food portion for free in front of the charity hospital. That was the very first time that I felt that I was doing something beneficial to my society. However, that flame was soon extinguished since there was a really big conflict between my mom and one of the receivers who was considered to be quite rich, and based on his clothes and smartphone. On that day, in my naive mind, I wonder whether our goodwill was being placed on the right spot. So when it comes to charity, we must admit that this had always been a topic of controversy. In the era when social media is omnipresent, we must confront the uncomfortable challenge like performative charity, misallocation, and the commercialization of goodwill. First, let's address the issues of phone-based charity, who have been criticized for engaging in the charity campaign for social media attention rather than the genuine compassion. This aspect of performative charity would dilute its true purpose and rob the opportunity for others. Next, we have the problems of misallocation of funds, where the donation were diverted into the personal use. Such action would not only undermine the trust in the charitable organizations, but also rob those in need of the support they desperately require. So these two critical problems raise a question. Are we empowering communities, or are we just fostering a cycle of reliance on charity? However, now let's shift the focus to a more positive example of Quang Linh vlog. So Quang Linh made his headlines in the charity in Africa. And his approach resonates with the ideas presented in the Dami Samuel's book, Dead Aid, which argues that traditional foreign aid often foster dependency, corruption, and economic stagnation in African countries. So Quang Linh's activity there were aligned with the key principles in this book. The first one is the empowerment over dependency. So Quang Linh empowered the society with skills and resources to be less reliant on the external factors. And the labor engagement, Quang Linh collaborates with the local residents to ensure that the initiatives are culturally appropriate and effectively addressing the community need. And so some critics, they argue that Quang Linh should focus on helping the poor areas in its home country rather than abroad. Interestingly, there is a book called Mindset. It mentions about fixed mindset and growth mindset. So in this situation, we can see that this stems from a fixed mindset. One sees that charity is limited and nationalistic. However, the growth mindset would consider charity is not a zero-sum game. Helping one group does not mean neglecting the other. So in fact, it can create networks, inspire collaboration, and bring attention to the poverty at home. So by doing internationally, Quang Linh demonstrates a model of charity based on sustainability and empowerment. So now we have two paths to consider. The first one is to follow exactly the path of Quang Linh, since he was the pioneer in not only the charity, but also in the way he created his own norms. And when these norms are followed by others, it will gradually make room for the old ones to be reborn in better forms. The second path, we can reword the question a little bit. We can break the charity into different norms. So now I suggest that there are three new approaches. The first one is the localized charity. We must tailor the charitable efforts to each characteristic of each community, and to understand the culture and the needs of each community would lead to a more effective intervention. The second one is to nurture empathy. I mean, we could cultivate the empathy from our daily activities. By engaging with our communities and understanding their struggles could foster a society of empathy. The last one is about the conscious consumption. It's quite related to environmental problems, right? But by being mindful about the spending habits, we can save more for ourselves, and which in turn will contribute more to the charitable causes. This not only benefits us, but also foster the mindset giving. Thank you for listening, and that's, I think you learned something to make the charity more effective. Thank you.